Hey guys, welcome to another session of Global News. So we're going to be talking about part 2 of this November, I don't know, I guess the week of November 16th, the event week of November 16th. Part 2, like I was predicting that we're going to get more news today, which we did. No trials, but we do have some 7-star awakenings and a 7-star release batch. So I kind of want to take a look at this and take a look at some of the changes. Now obviously I don't think this batch is like super OP. Originally I remember people data mining saying that Medina and Sephiroth might be added. I think that would have been like a really crazy batch because I would have wanted both Medina or Sephiroth for their STMRs. But because they aren't here, which I'll talk about in the actual banner, the banner release news, I don't need to really pull on this one, but I do have a couple of these units set up. Now, this one's interesting because it does have, I mean, just like every batch, if you don't have all of their STMRs, it's going to be an interesting one. You're going to get an interesting combination of units you want to pull for and ones you don't wish you get. And I was just talking on stream here with Badzilla. Badzilla says that he wants his first Noctis for that Ring of the Lucia to get 100% evasion tank just for some trials. And it's just nice to have evasion sometimes if you really need it. And apparently it's on the same banner as Fallen, which is someone he doesn't really want, which is hilarious because so I think at the moment I'm at 3 Fallen, but I really don't care about that light armor. I mean, it's the strongest light armor with attack and has 80 wind resistance, which is really good to have. But light armor at this point of the game, like, it's like you either go with heavy armor or with clothes pretty much for like damage dealers, because like a lot of trust masteries are locked to those types of equipment, but less for light armor. So I think Emperor Shira's TMR is 50% total attack with sword and light armor equipped. Like that's good for him, I suppose, but it's not a must-have. Like obviously, if you want the highest attack for your best damage dealers, you would probably go with Lunith's clothes for an STMR, and or someone like Flame. Is it Flame Lord's armor? So a Veritas of the Flames STMR for the strongest heavy armor with attack. And if Fallen as a unit himself, even at 7-star, he's just not that good. So we have to see if Global adds any kind of buff to him. But even if he does, his kit is very strange. So it's not like you'll really use him for anything other than like maybe, I don't know, running the Bahamut Island for exploration, or I think he has reducing counter if I'm not mistaken. So reducing counter, maybe some arena shenanigans, but other than that, he's not that good. We'll have to see. PG Laswell, first CG unit with Sakura here now to be released. We're gonna sooner or later all of them gonna be released. I think before the new year. I think by the end of December, I'm expecting to see all the 7-stars. The old generation 7-stars released. Now I did make a prediction before that Fryevia was going to come either in this one or right before Aurora Fryevia's release during FanFesta in December. And I think someone was saying that, oh no, it can't be, like why would they put her up now? But I think they have to, with Kurosame in the mix. And again, my prediction was that they pushed up Type 0 for Kurosame to be first, because Freevia could be coming next and Freevia could be more powerful. We're gonna take a look at Freevia's STMR, and then we'll see her kit tomorrow morning. But anyways, let's go from top down. So PG Laswell, really good chainer, dual wielder when he comes. Hopefully he gets some upgrades, but his STMR is fantastic. It's still very widely used in JP. Pretty decent attack. It holds its own at 174. And it also has an LB fill rate, and then boost Esper or boost parameters when setting an Esper by 10%. So I think it's Esper stats. So kind of like a Tidus's STMR, which gives you a 30% Esper stats or something. So basically, the Esper stats, that amount of percent gets carried onto your unit. So it's really nice. So it's like you have this STMR, this katana on one of your units. Your units just get an instant buff, pretty much, which is really nice. And then Balthier here is someone that I don't have. I have 0 of, and someone I really don't need at the moment. I'm not too eager to get his TMR or STMR or him as a unit, so I'm going to keep it at that. Let's see here. Zodiac Shot, boost attack equipped with a gun, boost physical damage against machine and monsters. I don't remember his attack passive on the equipped with gun. Is it a 80%? If it's 80%, that'd be pretty good, but I don't think it's at that high yet. Hold on, one moment, double check. I want to be able to assess it, because Balthier in global is way better. It is 80%. Okay, so 80% with gun, and then 50% machine killer, which is kind of nice to have if you do have 4 Balthiers. Like, you know, why not? It's good for your gunners, but good finisher though. Yeah, he's sort of good. He's not even that good, but global Balthier is way better than JP. JP's one is just terrible. It's like, I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't even know if he has enhancements yet. Does he have enhancements? He does have enhancements. Or even in JP enhancements, it's not even that good. After, like, he's just not used at all. Okay, so Alfreda is nice. If you guys have followed me for a while, I have now 2 Alfreda STMR, capable at least, which is okay. I just don't know if I'd need 2 right now. This would be a really good STMR for Demon Rain, and Alfreda as a 7-star is really good in the arena, except if you're facing someone with 100% or 150% ice resistance, then she's pretty much useless. Otherwise, Alfreda could be a really good arena shenanigan unit. Tons of good counters, and imperils with imperils on counter, and her LB is really good chaining as well. But they're all locked to ice, so it's not the best, but it's not bad either. But the SCR, like I said, is good for Demon Rain. You have a 50% TDH for physical, and you have I think it's 30% to defense, spirit, and HP, all 3, and so it's really good. It's really good for Demon Rain. That's one of the reasons why I didn't bother chasing Demon Rain's STMR. One, I was locked to a 0.33% chance to get it, but the other thing is because I do have Alfreda's STMR, so that's pretty good. Good to have. Roy is someone that's his STMR isn't that fantastic. I mean, it's STMRs are STMRs, but it's an instrument. It's two-handed, so you lock to it. It's really high spirit, really good stats all around. But again, I have his STMR as well. Just recently got another Roy, which I didn't want. As a buffer, he falls off. 7-star, no problem, but he's kind of like Elephant pretty much. So we'll be able to break and buff on the same turn. Really good slot efficiency, but other than that, I think you would be running like someone like CG Nicole and Lid or Lauren, which we have Lauren 7-star, for Breaker, for dedicated Breaker. You would rather waste 2 slots for more effectiveness, I think, 2 unit slots. I'm doing this live, so I'm reading the stream chat as well, just catching up, see if I'm missing anything. Okay, so Blossom Sage Sakura, her STMR really great. Compared to Dark Phoenix has a 70-70, so it's a 70 magic, 70 spirit. So if you're going for that extra spirit, like Dark Phoenix, technically you lose 7 magic, you have way more survivability. I think like if I was running like Grimlord Sakura and building her seriously, I would almost Grimlord Sakura, not Blossom Sage Sakura. Grimlord Sakura, I would almost prefer Dark Phoenix STMR. But I only have 1 Dark Phoenix at this point of the game, so you know, this is gonna be my best robe. And the reason why for Grimlow Sakura is because Grimlow Sakura has a ton of survivability, like HP and spirit passives, and then with her STMR, Grimlow Sakura becomes super beefy. So I would really like Dark Phoenix STMR for her. But CG Sakura here, Blossom Sage Sakura is really good. It's the best if you want to go for the highest magic. And it boosts lightning resistance by 50%, which is awesome. And it also has auto limit, which fills LBEH per turn. It's just so good. It's so good. So I think I'm at 6 or 7 CG Sakura right now, so if I have 2 it'd be great for 10 man. But otherwise I think I'll stick to having 1 is fine. I'm not going to chase it again. Lunera recently got her STMR, boost dark resistance by 30%, awesome, and then 100% physical magic demon killer, which originally I thought that her STMR was really bad, and then in JP on one of the story 90 energy bonus missions, I had to run demon killer. I'm like, oh, just put that on my axe star, you get 100% demon killer in 1 slot. It was really efficient, really nice. And of course, I mean, 100% for magic demon killer too, and demon is one of the most popular species of monsters, so it's super good. Let's see here. Rare Ruby says, I need 1 more CG Sakura for STMR. I want another Fry also, but I don't want to pull the banner. Are they on the same banner? I'll have to check, Rare Ruby. But yes, Rare Ruby wants another CG Sakura to build out his Renoa favorite unit. And of course, with Renoa's global upgrade, it is actually sort of worth it, building her strong. Wait, what else I was gonna say here? Yeah, oh yeah, okay, so, Lunera herself is she's actually pretty decent still. Really good MP battery if she's enhanced. Really good bard in general. And, you know, if you really do need that Aurora Ray chaining, is not terrible either. I suppose if you're fighting like demon monsters, Lunera would be like one of the top ones to go for. Not just for her STMR, but for her innate demon killers. Really good to have. And then we have a Fryevia here. So Freevia, this is, I think, a surprise for most people. I'm not quite sure if other people have predicted this or have seen any facts on this. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see her kit. Again, I think that she will be good. Now, Terror on stream did mention something about her STMR being better on Kurosame, and here is why. And this is where originally, like a couple months ago when I was theory crafting Freevia's release, I was saying that, you know, she's gonna be a really confusing unit. Like, I would almost prefer her to be a TDW, true dual wield. Now her STMR kind of lends to that again, and the reason is because obviously they're giving her dual cast. It has to be, because her STMR has TDH, attack, and magic. And the reason why I think it has to be is because if you're forcing her to TDH, there's no way she can chain well or do what she's supposed to do, you know, forced true double hand. So she must have dual cast. Alright, so someone originally mentioned that to try to rebut me, and I was fine. I was fine with either way, but I was just saying that because if you're locked to her trust mastery, it's pretty weak compared to someone like Kurosame's STMR. The only way to fix Fryevia right now would be that her trust ability is not that good, and also pending JP's recent quality of life change, where the units can have the same TMR passives if they have the STMR equipped. Depending on her kit, that's the only way to fix her. Either to give her like really crappy TMR passives for now, that makes her good now, but then later if she has that STMR passive thing, then making her trust ability sucky would be really bad for her in the long run. So like either way, I feel that Fryevia it's not going to be perfect. Yes, I think she's going to be good. She's going to be strong in terms of mods or whatnot, but I just don't think she's going to be the best. Now that could be another reason why Fryevia is pushed behind Kurosame. I'm not quite sure that maybe she's so bad that you just want to forget about her. I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not quite sure. If her trust ability is bad, her trust passive is bad, then Kurosame's STMR might be the best sword for her. Now Fryevia, because she's also really locked in the amount of weapons she can use, I think she can only use swords. She can't even use daggers, if I remember correctly. Only swords, so I mean, only like Kurosame's STMR would be good. But perhaps they will still give her some passives being a dual wielder, so you're not forced to have to use her STMR. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but we'll have to see. But as you can see, the Trust Master ability, Super Trust Master ability is 25 attack, 25 magic. It's okay. But it also has the boost equipment attack and equipment magic when you go TDH. So I'm assuming, because this is a Super Trust Master, I'm assuming it's going to be 50-50, 50%, 50%. And the reason is because I think, you know, they're not afraid to give like Grimlord Sakura 30% HP with 50% magic, 50% spirit, all TDH. So I think this totally could be 50-50. I think it has to be, really, to make this actually good. But I do agree with Terror that right now, at least the STMR as it looks, it's going to be the best on Kurosame. So if you have Fryvia's STMR, lucky you. With Kurosame's STMR, with Kurosame is one of the strongest hybrid damage dealers. It's gonna be okay. Let's see here. Alright, we have Noctis. So Noctis has a global upgrade on the STMR, and I think it's a good choice. I'm at 3 Noctis, but I'm still not eager to pull for that STMR. It's just not feasible for me. 20% all around stats, HP, MP, attack, defense, magic, spirit by 20, and then fire, ice, lightning, water, wind, and earth, but without dark and light. So it's not full elemental coverage, but 20%. So that's apparently part of the global upgrade. On JP it's 15%, and the LB gauge every turn, the fill gauge every turn. That's also a global upgrade. Again, I mean, if you have Noctis at STMR, I do know that there must be places you can use it. Having LB fill plus some elemental resistance is really nice. But like even at this point, I think I would still prefer Kryla's TMR, because unless his LB fill is like 3 per turn or something, Kryla's TMR does a really good job. 25% all elemental resistance throughout, with 15% spirit, which, you know, is really nice to have on a tank. Like, you know, why would you need the attack and defense and magic? It depends on the situation, I suppose. But for Kryla's TMR, is almost STMR level. If you compare it to Noctis's even upgraded STMR, Kryla's still is really awesome. Gladiolus is the only one I don't have an STMR on that I really care about. I have 3 of him currently, but I think I'm gonna skip this one because we'll talk about the banner later. The chances of me getting it is just too low. Lauren, really good breaker. I don't know if she'll need a global upgrade. I don't think she really does. She has a 70% AoE break, all break on a CD skill, and her LB is a 74% all stat break. And it's really pretty easy to get her LB, especially if you have, let's say, like PG Laswell's Katana, you have like E Stark's TMR. You give her a ton of like LB fill per turn. If I remember correctly, you can fill like with some really good LB gear, and she can still be really decked out in terms of damage and survivability. You'll still be able to get like LB fully just from filling autofill itself. LB fully every 3 turns, which is also the longevity of the breaks from her LB. So it's almost like you would break with a CD skill if you have a 7-star, break a CD skill, and then you just start cycling the LB. And also has a really strong lightning and wind imperil on top of that. So it's going to be great. And of course, Lauren can chain. Lauren can Onion Knight chaining family, also has Aurora Ray chaining family, so Lunaris. I don't know if she has another one, but she does have her own chaining family. I believe her Blade Prison is its own chaining family, but if you have 2 Laurens, and I think there's other units later on to be released, they do have Blade Prison frames, so sort of good all around. I mean, and even if you don't use her as just a complete breaker, this is why she's sometimes chosen over Lid, is just because, you know, really easy access to a chainer plus breaker at the same time. Her STMR is really good. Large swords, 170 attack and 20 defense, 20 spirit. Originally, I was saying that, oh, this STMR was not that good until Demon Rain came out. So this, I'll have Lauren as STMR as well on release. I'll definitely give this to my Demon Rain, and too bad Item World will be gone by then. Otherwise, PG Laswell's Katana and her STMR would probably be my my two up and running weapons that I'll be running. Yeah, Lauren Infinity says she has more utility, exactly. Your pal Drewski, good morning, man. And Keyshawn, I know I missed a couple people coming in as I was doing the talk, but welcome to stream here. We're gonna go on to the next section. So this is part 7 of our 7-star release special. Now, I know that I've gotten complaints on YouTube that, Jagan, you're the only one that doesn't fix it, and your pal Drewski on stream just told me to use BlueStack, so use some kind of a different emulator, it doesn't affect it. So I'll definitely look into it for the sake of news creation, especially because yeah, this is kind of annoying. Oh, I see. Drewski, got it. Alright, so this is one of the batches, and like I was saying when I was doing the intro to the units and their STMRs, this is a definite skip for me, especially this one. So in this banner, I've already explained, I already have all their STMRs except Balthier. I don't have one Balthier, and I'm not eager to get him either. No units coming down the line unless there's a Glex unit that really needs that STMR, but at this point, if I have 0 of him, I really wouldn't want to chase an STMR. But otherwise, Alfreda, Roy, CG Sakura, and Fryevia. And I suppose this is a pretty decent one if I'm taking, you know, putting my foot in other people's shoes. Let's say you want to go for Fryevia. You got CG Sakura, which is good for an STMR, and she's a good magic finisher as well, still. Like, even in JP, she's still pretty decent, especially after enhancements, pretty decent. Roy, pretty good support, and then Alfreda, of course, if you're like new and you want to get TDH gear for like Hyo and Jack and Axter in the future, or other TDH units, this is the banner for you. The only one I would say is a troll for you then would be Balthier. Otherwise, if you're like kind of starting out and you have the Lapis to spend, this is definitely a good one to spend for. Fryvia's Needle, which is her TMR, is also useful for some other units, even though it is locked to ice, but it's still pretty useful, so you'll definitely find uses. And then everyone else's TMRs are not that great, but Roy's is good. Roy's is good too if you're starting off. His hat is really good for MP and stuff. So let's see here, any changes? No, the step-ups are still the same, so we're still stuck at the first step is 4,000 lapis instead of our first and second batch, which was 3,000, and you get it guaranteed at the last step there. So best bang for a buck if you want to lock down some of these units. If you get lucky too, you get a 2 times rate on step 2 as well. So, you know, I've gotten pretty decent luck on these ones. So, like, I would be pulling it if I just had like none of these units. I would actually pull on it, but because I do have them, I won't. And then part 8 here. Part 8 is one again. The only one that I would even consider pulling for, but in this one, I have 2 Fullen, 3 Gladiolus, 3 Noctis. 3 of the units I don't have a STMR closed for, and like I was explaining, that Fullen's STMR is not top tier for me. Good for the wind resistance, good to have if you have to be stuck to light armor for some instance, but I don't think it's necessary. And him as a unit, you just really bench him. His TMR is not really used unless you really want that that defense. As 68 defense is really strong, and it's pretty strong attack helmet, but you have now Atoning Cane and also Gilgamesh's STMR as choices. It has petrification resistance as well, that's why it's pretty decent. But even though I have him, I've never even gotten his TMR because that's how little I really care about it. PG Laswell, like I said, Lauren's a good one. So yeah, for this banner itself, I mean, if you pull on this, you get PG Laswell at 7-star. He becomes a really strong chainer with absolute tranquility frames, or absolute mirror of equity. So we call Laswell chaining frames. So Draco Laswell has it. Someone released recently has it too, right? I don't remember. Draco Laswell for sure has it. And then Lunera, like I said before, TMR is good, but really locked to bow users and for certain enemy species. Bacilla, I would be okay with every unit on that banner except for Fullen. But Bacilla, you know, man, you know Fullen is like staring you in the face. He's going to come. Oh yeah, Terror, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, Machina or Machina has AT frames as well, so PG Laswell's frames, which is why it was surprising for me that they moved it up. Originally I was saying that, you know, PG Laswell's chaining family units won't be released until he's released, but they kind of like messed it up. It doesn't matter. So like, could we call it still Laswell chaining family? I suppose you could. You could call it Draco Laswell chaining family. But anyways, it's mostly widely known for PG Laswell, CG Laswell's chaining family. Yeah, Lauren, good breaker. And even at a 6-star, if you're stuck at a 6-star, still pretty decent breaker. AoE, 50% breaks on demand. when you need it, and also a single target all break 50% after enhancements are really good. Noctis, of course, very well used even in arena in JP now. He's still pretty good, but if you're a top tier arena, you really wouldn't want to run him because none of his status ailments really affect anyone except the stop resist. But then if you're if that week has ice or you know, stop forbidden, then Noctis is not used, so he's no longer really king of the arena, but he is still pretty decent for arena shenanigans. Of course, you can get him really easy to full evasion, and Gladiolus still remains a pretty decent non-good tank. Pretty decent non-good tank. He's not that good as a tank unless Global fixes him like they did Mercenary Ramza. If Global fixes him, then I would say this banner would be the one to choose out of all of them, I think. The reason is because like I said, Lauren, good breaker, Noctis, good TMR. You can never get too many Noctis's TMRs, man. Alterna, you have a 30% attack magic and also 25% evasion stackable. It's just extremely good. Such a good TMR, one of my favorites still. Then Gladiolus, of course, that STMR is awesome for tanks, but again, I don't think I'm gonna get it. Same step up. So anyways, I'm gonna end this news video here. Again, with the FanFesta units coming, this is a heavy skip for me. I was already gonna go like really light on the FanFesta units, but now that I see that this is released and I'm not tempted to pull this whatsoever, I'm planning to possibly pull 2 laps maybe, depending on my luck, 2 laps on the FanFesta banner, because I do like Elisperis and Beryl, and apparently Beryl has like TT chaining frames, Divine Ruination, and Aurora chaining frames or something. It's just crazy. Anyways, I will end this here. The guys on stream are saying bye YouTube. They know I'm gonna close this off. So Razzler, Lord Infinity says bye YouTube. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.